Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to show you how can we create dynamic tab bar items in .NET MAUI Shell Apps. Okay, so in this picture we have this home, add post, manage post, profile, these tabs, and in this we have home, favorites and profile, these three different tab bar items. Both of these are same app, so sometimes we need this type of implementation. So mostly with user types or user roles. Maybe we have only one app, and on the basis of user's role, we want to give different options, different pages in the same app. Or the second use case would be, let's say we have some app which has some default options, and then we have some paywall, we have some subscription or some paid features. So when user enables paid features, at that time we can maybe add extra functionality or extra actions in the tab bar item, so that we can enable those and user can click on it and user can open those pages. Okay, so that's what we are going to do in this video. All right, so for this video what I am going to do, I'm going to assume that this is a simple blog application. So we are going to have two types of user. One is who is publishing the content, so publishing a blog, and then second type of user which is consumer users who are going to consume the content. Okay, so for this what I have done, I have simply created a .NET MAUI app, and I have created these blank pages. I have not added anything. So these are create post page, favorites page, home page, manage post page, profile page, and publisher home page. Because this home page is for consumer, this publisher home page, this is different. This can be different for publisher. So all these pages I have created all these as .NET MAUI XAML pages. And then in resources, images, I have simply added these icons: create post, favorites, home, manage post, and user profile. I downloaded these icons from box icons. So boxicons.com, you can simply come here, types any search query, it will show you these icons. You can click on these, and then you have these options: download PNG or download SVG code. You can try any of these and simply download and move it to this images folder. All right, okay, so now in app shell we have this by default shell content, one shell content which is pointing to this home page. It was main page, I renamed it to home page. Okay, so right now it is going to just show me this one page. Now what I would do, I would simply create a tab bar here, cut it, tab bar, I'm going to paste this, then I'm going to copy this and paste it two more times. So for the consumer user, we are going to display home page, favorites page, and profile page. Okay, so home page, after that favorites page, the icon would be favorites, and then the route same, and then title also favorites. Then third one, let's say profile page, and user underscore profile.png, and the route we can have this same. Save it, let's try to run it on Android emulator. So our app is ready. Here we can see this default home page with these three options: home, favorites, and profile page. Okay, now if we want to go to the publisher mode, what we can do, we can copy this tab bar, paste it one more time, and now we'll comment out the first tab bar. This is not the way to do it, but I'm just going to show you that okay, this we can see everything. So for home page, here we will have publisher home page. The second one we can have create post page. The icon would be create underscore post.png. Then third page, manage posts page, manage underscore posts.png. And then the last one, same profile. Save it. Let's rerun. It's coming. And this time we can see publisher homepage, home, favorite is not favorite, text needs to be changed. We have this icon. So this text, this needs to be changed to, let's say, add post. This profile, this needs to be changed to manage posts and then profile. Now we can see these. Alright, so this is publisher, the same app with the different icons, different tab bars, different pages. Now, this is not the way we should do it. Now, somehow we need to check that who is the current user who is trying to open this app. Okay, if the user is consumer, we'll display this tab bar. If user is publisher, then we are going to display this tab bar. Okay, so what we can do instead of doing all this, I'll remove this. The checking who the user is, we can't check that in this app shell .xaml. We can check that in this CS file, the code behind app shell.xaml.cs. So we are going to do this inside this CS. Here, let me uncomment this and I'm going to comment these shell items for a reference. Now we have this tab bar. On this tab bar, we can provide it some name. So we'll say x.name, let's say main tab bar, or let's have just tab bar. Save it. Now inside this app shell.xaml.cs, we can access this tab bar. So we'll say tab bar. We have this tab bar. We can access this. Now, when we are coming here for the first time, we need to know who the user is. We need to get the current user's identity or user's role. Okay. So for the current user's role or identity, what you can do, you can get from, you have couple of different options. Maybe you are storing it in preferences when user first comes or do some stuff, then you are storing it in preferences, or maybe in SQLite database, or maybe you can get it from some API. Okay. Now this call, whatever call we'll do, preferences is synchronous, but SQLite database fetch and API fetch, these could be asynchronous operations. Okay, but for this particular case, we need these synchronous, not asynchronous. Okay, what synchronous would do? It will simply block the execution. It will block the main thread here. It will not continue executing further while it is waiting on the response back from database or API. The reason being, we need the response from this thing to render our initial tab bar, the main app shell. Our app depends on this. So we can't do that. We can't allow app to render and just wait for it. And once this comes, then do the other stuff. No, that is not our use case. Our use case is we will get the response back from the SQLite database or this API. Then we'll generate our dynamic tab bar items and then we'll let the main thread continue further to render the other parts of the app. Okay. So here, let me add some some helper text, which I just mentioned, that this database fetch or API fetch request. Let me type it. Okay, so I have added this database fetch or API fetch request should be blocking here. We should not use async here, as our app's main shell tab bar depends on the response. So we will block the main thread here until we get the response back from the DB or API. Once you have user's identity, then we can add dynamic tab bar items to the tab bar. Now for this particular app here, as I already mentioned, that we are going to consider that we are going to have two types of user, consumers and publisher. Okay. So for these two type of users, we will have different tab bar items. Okay. So what we can do here for these tab bar items, first we'll say, let's say home here, or let's say home item. We will use new shell content and we'll add the same properties we had in here in XAML. So title, content template, icon and route. Okay. So let's add first thing title. It is going to be home. Then second icon. It would be home.png. Then route. It could be name of home page. And then fourth is content template. It would be a new data template and type of data template would be home. So our home item is ready. Okay. Now we can add this home item to our tab bar. So for this, what we'll do, although we are sure that tab bar does not have anything, but still we should clear this. So tab bar.items.clear, and here we'll say tab bar.items.add home item. Okay. Now same way we can do for other items as well. So after home, we can have favorites, we can have our profile and all other things. So we are going to repeat all these things. Instead of repeating this, what I generally do, I simply create some type. So here I'm going to create a record type. I'll say tab bar item and I'll have string name, or let's say title, then string icon, and then the type, these things. Okay. Now once we have this tab bar type, here what I'll do, let's do this. Let's create helper methods here. So I'll say private void, I'll say setup consumer tab bar, and I'll move this thing tab bar.items.clear, let it be here only. I'll move this section to this setup consumer tab bar, and I'll call this setup consumer tab bar from here. Save it. And here we are going to have 3 tab bar items, right? Home, favorites, and profile. Now we have this shell content for this one. So what I'll do, I'll simply comment this thing out for a reference. Now I'll generate this tab bar item, this collection here. So I'll say tab bar item, array of this. I'll say items equals. Now we can use collection expression. First we need this home. So we'll say new tab bar item. First thing is we need title. So title is home. Then we need icon. So icon is home.png. Then type is type of home page. Our first tab is ready. Now I'm going to copy it 2 times. Second one would be favorites, favorites.png and favorites page. Then third one would be profile, user underscore profile.png, and type of profile page, Now we are ready for this. Then we can simply say var item in items, and we can directly say tab bar dot items dot add this item, and we are good now. What is the issue here? This item is of type, sorry, my bad. This item is of type Tabbar item, but for this we need shell content. So from these items, now we'll generate our Tabbar items. Okay, so Tabbar items, what we can do on these items, we'll say dot select. Okay, now this I, which is item, from this we'll generate our shell content. Okay, and for shell content we have title, which will be I dot title. Then we have icon, which would be I dot icon. Then we have route. This we can do name of I dot type. Then content template. This we can say new data template. And here we need to provide type. So I dot type. Now our tab bar items are ready. We can loop through these tab bar items and then we can add these. What happened here? So we need to return this. Cut, new this, and now we are good. Save it. This should be tab bar items, and save everything, and now we are good. Let's quickly try it out if we are getting the same output as we were getting earlier. Now in appshell.xaml, everything is commented out. In this appshell.xaml, right now we have this hard-coded setup consumer tab bar, and setup consumer tab bar is here. Let's run it. And we can see the same thing: home, favorites, and profile. Okay, now let's quickly create one more method for publisher tab bars. So here we'll say private void setup publisher tab bar, and here we'll copy the same thing, tab bar items, and this, paste it. But this time what we need, after home.png, this should be publisher homepage. First thing is this. Then instead of favorites, we are going to have add post, and the icon would be create underscore post, and the page is going to be create post page. Okay, profile, we would have this profile, but in between we'll have manage posts. So manage posts, the icon would be manage underscore posts, and here we'll have manage posts page. Save it, and now we are good. Publisher. Now let's call this method. Right now let me copy this consumer and call this setup publisher tab bar. Save it. Let's run it. We should see this publisher tab bar with 4 tab bar items. So you see we have publisher tab bar with 4 tab bar items. Alright. Now if we see this code, we have this thing in common: getting the tab bar items from items, then looping through the tab bar items, adding it to tab bar. Instead of having these in these two methods, let's do this. Let's have this thing in here only, in the main constructor of app shell. So what we'll do, instead of calling this setup consumer tab bar, we'll say get consumer tab bar items. Okay, and from here we will simply return this tab bar items array. We can return these items from here, and we can move this logic in this main constructor. Now here we don't have items right away. We'll have these items in here like this. and it should be get consumer tab bar items. Now we are good. Let's move this tab bar items dot clear to here in for each. Cool. Same thing we'll do from this setup publisher tab bar. So from here also we'll say tab bar item array, and it would be get publisher tab bar items, and we'll remove this thing and directly return items from here. And we can do the same thing here. Var items equals get publisher tab bar items, and now we are good. We should see the same thing. Now setting up is okay, we are good, but how would we know that which one should we render? We should render only one, right? So that's the point which I have mentioned here. You will get the role or type of the user from database or from some API. Then you will check what user role or type it is. Okay, and on the basis of that you are going to do, let's say tab bar item array, we'll say items, we can have default, then we can get the current user role. For now let's consider, or let's assume it is consumer. Ideally we will get it from DB or API or preferences, wherever you have stored it. You will get this from here, and then you will see if this consumer current user role, if current user role is equals consumer, then this item should be this thing, else you will get items like this. And we are saving it right now, and we should be good. Now we are hard coding it to consumer, so it should show the consumer tab bar items with those 3 tab bar items only. Let's run it and let's see. And we can see these 3 items. Now quickly come here and let's say the current user's type is publisher. Restart the app. Now we should see the publisher tab bar items. And this type you are going to get it from your source, from some different source, DB API preferences. On the basis of that, it will going to generate these different tab bar items. Now we can see publisher. All right. And if you have other than this other types of user as well, you can simply create this method, same method, and you can add those different tab bar items. Okay. All right, so I think that's all for this video. This is how you can dynamically generate tab bar items on the basis of some condition or some different data from some different API or DB or whatever it is. All right. Cool. So that's all for this video. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe my channel. I'll be back soon with some other cool video. Till then, bye bye. Happy coding.